Okay. So we're going to move to district priorities and some community concerns. East Tampa, its surrounding areas, and Sulphur Springs have struggled with disinvestment and displacement. What's your vision for reversing those trends?
Well, when I was on county commission, so you'll know, um, we had a vision for district, at that time was District 3 as a county commissioner representative, which encompasses District 5, okay? And so Dick Greco wanted to create CRA for Ybor City, downtown. When I say CRA, Community Redevelopment Area, okay? CRA is Community Redevelopment Area. So
Yeah,
they
we're
wanted to
gonna
create,
we're gonna want you to talk more about that. So keep
yeah,
that in
yeah.
mind.
So they wanted to create a community redevelopment area for downtown, Ybor City, Channelside, and Drew Park. Well, under state law, when you create a CRA, it has to be where a neighborhood or area has been uh, depressed, um, um, has not grown, has not developed, and of course, when we looked at state law, we saw an opportunity that East Tampa, out of all those areas, deserve a CRA, Community Redevelopment Area. So my vision was at that point was to say, hey, we don't just need to, develop Ybor City, bring it back. Yes, I agree. Not only just downtown. Yes, I agree. Not only Channel Side. Yes, I agree. It meet all those
Mhm.
criteria and Drew Park. But what about East Tampa? East Tampa deserves a community redevelopment area so that those people who have been displaced in a community that has not grown, undeveloped, stressed, and so we then put a motion on the floor with the county commission because the city cannot establish a CRA without the approval of the county government. They cannot. The approval
Okay.
has to come from the county commission.
Hmm.
And so virtually, really virtually, I had to pretty much block what they were trying to do at that point in order to get East Tampa in there. So you got to understand it wasn't just that easy. That's why you got to understand and know the power you have as an elected official. Okay, I was the chairman of the board for the county commission, and so those CRAs could not get done, developed, or passed without my consent to get on the agenda. And so
Let
I
me
was able,
ask let me ask you this, Pastor.
yeah,
Do you think it did what you envisioned it to do? Because the community might have, when we see, and I understand how private investors really did channel side and all that. But when we know that the CRA's been in there for 20 years, the longest one, and we still see East Tampa look the way it look.
yeah.
What
Well, that
what do we say about that?
Well, here's what I say and what I envision. When I created the CRA, I drew the boundary. The largest CRA in the state of Florida was scheduled
And let me
according
ask
to
you a 2 point
Oh, wait,
question.
wait.
Why
Just
so large? I just want that to be a 2 point. Why so
all right,
large?
okay.
all right.
In order for a CRA to work, you have to be able to draw the boundaries where you have commercial, because again, it's based on the tax base. Okay. So if you just draw housing area, you don't have that much because the housing was not generating that much.
Okay.
So you had to draw it large enough so you incorporated the commercial component and
Okay.
base so that you get more tax revenue. The
Mm.
tax revenue from the area stays in this area. When I watch this, the tax stays revenue stays in District 5,
Hmm.
and the general revenue from the city, which they should have been adding to that. Well, when you got created CRA, at that time, some of them were then shifting the fund from the general revenue to take the place, and you're not supposed to do that under state law. It should have been CRA is where you're supposed to put on top of the general revenue. So now you are advancing, you're catching up with the rest of the city, and you're getting ahead. Well, see, some of that didn't happen because they were taking general revenue funds away and using CRA funds to do what
Right.
general revenue funds should have been doing. Okay,
Right.
so that was the reason why I grew it large, but also it's been, let me put it this way, I don't want to say been misappropriated, but let me just say it has not done what I intended for it to do, the
Yeah.
vision that I had in terms of growing these Tampa Bay's economic development, affordable housing, workforce, jobs and all of that, because because it was mishandled and misused to a degree. Now
Okay.
let me preface that with this. The CRA would have realized over $200 million in the life of it. When I put together the CAC, the Community, the Citizen Advisory Committee, they had the power to say where those funds were going in terms of economic development, affordable housing, down payment assistance. That CAC had the power in their hands to be able to determine where those dollars would be going and who it would help and how it would be reinvested back into District 5. Well, at some point, Mona, you probably might know this, even the CAC at some point, there was some, what I would say, personality differences. That's number one. Number two is the power was taken from the CAC and brought back downtown,
Wow.
as opposed to the citizens having the input and controlling their own destiny. It was then shifted back downtown. That's the other reason why I decided to run, is because I believe that the power and the voice of the people need to be heard.
So I was
So
going to ask that follow up that what do you plan to do about that? And does it get shifted back into the hands of the people?
Well, that's one of my priorities, is to try to do that, to make sure that we have the voice of the people. I believe that East Tampa need to have citizens who have the best interest for East Tampa and have a voice into the direction and the future of East Tampa. A lot of money has gone into East Tampa and beyond East Tampa. For instance, I think one of the developers wanted to ask for 2 million and they gave him 5 million. Okay, that was done downtown.
mhm.
Another one is 6 million. They gave him 10 million. See, all that. I don't understand the decisions by council for doing that. I wasn't in the meeting, so maybe they had a reason. But again, if the CAC, the Citizen Advisory Committee, recommended 2 million, why didn't they get 2 million? And when I was there, that's what whatever they recommended, that's what I supported, because it was their money and how they wanted to be used it to move East Tampa forward.
So that's I'm going to do a. Is it really because sat on the CRA and it was so frustrating. It was so frustrating. We come every other week, and nothing we advised got done. Nothing. It was just a standstill, and that probably was 6 or 7 years ago, and we're still at that. Who controls the spending, the power to spend? Who control it? Do the mayor control it?
Well, here's what you need to understand about the CRA. According to the Florida state statute, the power is with the CRA agency, who is the city council. Okay? That's
Okay.
Florida statutes. And what city council did years ago when they first started setting up these CRA, they did what you call an interlocal agreement and shifted the power over into the hands of the mayor to hire the staff and to have oversight of
And is that just on that thought, is that for all CRAs
that's for
or
all
just
CRA. Yes, ma'am. For
okay.
all the CRA. All the CRAs now are administered by the mayor and the staff. Whoever the mayor is has been. The mayor has created. They created an interlocal agreement that's going back under Dick Greco, and city council gave that authority and power to the administration. Now, the catch in some of this is, Mona, is that even though the mayor has that power and use, because they use, again, the police station up on 22nd Street, they used over $2 million of CRA funds to build that, and they were not supposed to do that. See,
Right.
again, that should have been money used from general revenue to build that station, but they used CRA money to build it. And I
Right.
could go on to other examples.
And well, no, because I can remember when that was being built and the community didn't want it. And I don't understand how these people wrote what the community want. Here's where I have an